Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Blood Bowl 2. So I want to take one more swing at this solo tournament thing, just because I think it's fun to play Blood Bowl 2 even when the opposition's not particularly good. And I want to show you guys a team that's actually good at the Blood Bowl part of Blood Bowl, or rather the ball part of Blood Bowl. So today we're playing as Dark Elves. I was talking in the last series about Elven Union and Wood Elves and stuff. I totally spaced on the fact that Dark Elves were a thing. Somebody reminded me in the comments of the last video. Dark Elves are neat. They're probably not the best elf team. In fact, I would go so far as to say they're definitely not the best elf team. But they are a lot of fun to play. So today we're going to be starting a tournament as the Massive Edgelords. This is us. We're all sort of reedy and pale, and I assume very moody. And we have some weird stuff going on. So first of all, I just want to make a point here. Let's make something perfectly clear. I am playing these guys in the way that I think will be most entertaining both for you and for me. This is not how I think you should build a Dark Elf team if you want to win games. Because I've gone with a single reroll. The thing about the Dark Elf team is that they have a lot of positionals, and their linemen are very expensive. You can see 70k for a normal lineman. Now, I think they're probably worth it. At 6'3", 4'8", these are actually some of the best linemen in the game. I think Norse and Dwarf linemen have block by default, and so I'd be hard-pressed to say these are better than those, but they're still very, very good. Then we have some real weird positionals. First of all, let's talk about blitzers. 7'3", 4'8" blitzers. They start with block. These are just great players. We're actually allowed to field 4 of them, and it's kind of insane not to start with 4. But if I started with 4 blitzers, I wouldn't be able to bring you all of the other weird crap that is on this team and then also be able to afford even one reroll. We also have the Witch Elf. Witch Elves have Frenzy. I guess we can't... Hold on, we'll look at her skills in here. Also, yeah, her outfit is extremely how do we make 13-year-old boys want to buy models, and it's not. Bad Games Workshop. Bad. That's pandering. At least pander to the people who have the money. This is like inefficient pandering. So, Witch Elves have Frenzy. We've seen a little bit of Frenzy in the other games. If you throw a block at the opponent, you are forced to follow up, and if they didn't go down, you get to throw another one. It is dangerous for a 3-strength player to have Frenzy. This is going to get us hurt sometimes, but also Frenzy's tremendously powerful. It's very good for surfing people, it's very good for screwing up enemy formation. You can use the combination of Frenzy and careful positioning for chain pushes to move players around the field very efficiently. I think it is fantastic to have like 1 or 2 players on the team with Frenzy. They start with dodge as well. They also start with jump up. So a player with jump up can get up for free. Doesn't have to lose any movement to do so. And they can stand up into a block action without moving, without using a blitz, if they can just pass an agility roll, a very easy agility roll. And since we have 4 agility, we'll be able to do this more often than not. Pretty good stuff. Our other cool positionals are, we have a runner. I really like to have a runner on... I know a lot of people start their Dark Elf teams with no runners. I really like to have a runner because the runner's the only player on the team that has pass access on normals. And I think that the 4 agility passing game, even with no skills, is actually quite strong. But the 4 agility passing game with skills is reliable. I mean, as reliable as anything in Blood Bowl. Plus, dump off is a fun skill that's very annoying to deal with. So when somebody throws a block at this guy, if he has the ball, he can immediately quick pass. It's funny every single time it happens. It's very frustrating. And then, finally, my favorite Dark Elf positional, the Assassin. This guy has a knife. He just brings a knife. And you can stab people. When you go to throw a block, instead of throwing a block, you can try to just shank them. You make an unmodified armor roll. If your score beats the victim's armor value, then they're wounded. Injury roll time. You do not have to mess with the block dice, but if you fail the armor roll, they don't go down. So this is useful. I think there's a temptation, for me at least, when I first was like, those guys just have knives. The first temptation is like, okay, so I use them like a chainsaw, right? Like, let's just mess up some dudes. You really don't want to do this against high armor players, but players with middling armor and annoying skills, such as, for example, other elves, are very vulnerable to the knife. Like, let's say, a War Dancer, who has block and dodge out of the gate. You could run up on a War Dancer and try to knock her down, or I guess War Dancers are male in Blood Bowl 2. You could try to knock him down, but, I mean, it's a real crapshoot. However, that War Dancer only has 7 armor, and you can just put a knife in him. So, these guys are funny. Also, they have Shadowing, which is a really strange skill that I've never seen anybody take on purpose. Whenever somebody moves out of this guy's tackle zones, instead of trying to stop them from tackling, we can just follow them, provided that we make a d6 roll. It's more likely to work if your player has more movement allowance than the enemy player. And you can just kind of follow them, and if you keep making the rolls, you can just keep following them. And then, if you fail your Shadowing roll, I believe you do still get to... They do still have to actually make the dodge roll to get away from you. Not always useful. A lot of the time you don't actually want to do this. And you can get yourself in a lot of trouble by shadowing people into positions where you're easier to punch. But we'll be alright. We're just going to have to be smart with it. I do think that it's a lot of fun to run an assassin, even if they're not necessarily great. So, we're an elf team. Every player on the team has 4 agility. Everybody's a 6 or 7 move. And actually, the majority of our players have 8 armor. Dark Elves are a pretty good team. They're definitely the fightingest of the elf teams. And you guys know how I love to play at this point. I want to be the fightingest of whatever kind of team I'm playing. Frenzy's so good. Alright, so this is how we're doing it. 1 team reroll, no apothecary. Elf time, let's go. So of course, who did we pull as our first opponent? The dwarves. I'm not happy about this. So that's what these guys look like. Got a couple of troll slayers, I see. So, what's up with dwarves? First of all, almost every player on the team has 9 armor value. So they got these longbeards. Longbeards are the dwarf linemen. 4, 3, 2, 9. 9 armor value. Almost every player on the dwarf team has block. Almost every player on the dwarf team has thick skull. Which means that the lowest result on the injury table that would KO them instead just stuns them. Almost every player on the dwarf team has tackle, which prevents you from using dodge to get away from them. Fortunately, we're not reliant on dodge, and we don't really even have very much of it. And then the troll slayers, in addition to all that nonsense, have Frenzy themselves and Dauntless, which allows them to block a player of higher strength as though he is their strength. Sometimes. You know how Blood Bowl is. You gotta roll some dice. And then they have runners who have sure hands and 3 agility. Their blitzers also have 3 agility. The only thing that separates the blitzers from the linemen is 1 extra point of movement and 1 extra point of agility so that they can try to handle the ball. This is going to be tough. Dwarves are always tough for elfy teams, but I do think that Dark Elves tend to fare better than the other elf teams just because Dark Elves have so much more access to block and armor. Anyway, that's enough delaying. Let's get out there. I'm actually excited about this. I was kind of thinking, like, I said I was going to play an agility team, a passing type team. And then I was like, man, but I'm going to have to play elves, and I'm not, like... I don't think the elf game is bad, I just don't think it's as exciting as... Yeah, I tend to like to play weird teams, right? Like, Underworld is my favorite team to play. But Dark Elves are seriously weird. Dark Elves are totally weird enough to be a lot of fun for me.
It's match time, and nothing can come in the way of a head coach and his Blood Bowl.
You probably have noticed, not just in this game, but actually in a lot of games, if you watch the channel for a while, I don't tend to go for the thing that is the best all the time, because I like winning, but I like winning with restrictions. I like having to do something crazy in order to win, and then being able to do it. So, the Thunder Axis Stadium got one of these hostile dwarf crowds. We're going to have to make sure none of our players go off the side. They just never stop. They're going to be drinking during the play out on the field. See, they keep their tankard with them. And then, here's us. It looks like each of those dwarves is maybe twice the mass of any of our players. Look at him. I mean, like, the whole theme of our team and the names of our players and stuff, it's all very, like, haha, look how silly it is that they're trying to be so dark and cool and edgy. But also, I do kind of think some of it's actually legitimately cool. I was a real edgy teenager. Against dwarves, I think I want to receive just because I'm afraid my players are going to get injured, and I'd like to try to score during the period where I have the most players. Also, if we get to see setup first at the beginning of the game here, we can minimize the amount of our guys getting totally murdered. So the assassin's actually just pretty bad here, although he'll be very good at shadowing dwarves. So we probably want to put... And we could just go blitzers across the line, right? We have block, which makes it easier to block them because they also have block. And we do have 3 blitzers. We can also just go straight linemen and rely on having 2 dice. You'll have to forgive me. It's going to take a little bit for me to be able to tell my players apart. So what are these? These guys are just longbeards, okay. So your linemen... I don't know that I really want my blitzers in on the edges. We want linemen across the middle, I think. That is not where I meant to put him. So we do this setup so that we have 2-die blocks against the corners, and then once at least one of them is dealt with, we have a 2-die block against the dude in the middle. Put as many dwarves on their back as possible. We're not that likely to get any injuries out of this, but... the runner probably should be in a position where he's relatively safe. I'm going to put the wood elf, or the witch elf on this guy. What am I doing? I have to receive. Alright. Blade Stab-A-Face is going to have to sit back here. Yeah, maximum dwarf punching. Actually, maybe we should do it like this? I'm just thinking maybe hurting this dude toward the edge of the field is smarter. And in fact, I'm going to put the blitzer here on this side. Yes, we have a 2-die block followed by a 2-die block on this guy. Okay. I don't know. I have not played a lot of Dark Elves. Okay, both teams get an extra team reroll. I didn't look and see how many they had. They were able to bring 4. Are dwarf players really cheap? That was not my impression, but how the hell do they have 4 team rerolls and only 1,000 TV? Well, I mean 3, you know what I mean. Okay, so this dude has dodge. Or has block, rather. So it's totally possible for us to get into some real trouble throwing a lot of blocks against him. I'm not really sure where we want to start. I guess the best thing to do is probably to start with guys who have block. The runner's going to be the one who grabs the ball, so Blade Stab-A-Face is already in a position where he can hold off. And I'm just going to keep saying their names totally straight-faced. But feel free to laugh. Am I going to follow this dude up? I am. Let's push him to here and follow up. Because this way we get to hit him again. That's a bad start. Okay. There's that knockdown. And here we don't follow. And this is going to be one of those things, right, where we want to end our turn adjacent to as few dwarves as possible. So having already blown our team reroll on the second block is a real pain. Alright, but all we really need here is pushes, right? Remember, Defender Stumbles is good against these guys. They do not have dodge. So we're just going to try to clear the line. I do appreciate all these, like, spinning heel kicks and stuff. Alright. That's looking pretty good. We're likely to pick up the ball. We're likely to be able to dodge out of stuff. I am comfortable going ahead and throwing this. Do I want to... Maybe, do I want to instead punch with this guy first? Push the dwarf over to here, be able to throw a punch with this guy. I'm just thinking... I'm a little nervous about the witch elf, but I suppose the whole reason we brought her was so that we could try to surf dudes. And yeah, they have no spare players, we have no spare players. So getting guys off the field actually is, like, meaningful. Okay. Got it down right away. Pretty good. Okay. So we pick up on a 2+. They are... See, they have 5 move players out at the edges. We're not in any danger. You tell him, Blade. I'm a big fan of, like, things that are trying to be cool so hard that they've gone to goofy and then sort of have wrapped back around. That's maybe my favorite aesthetic. So I guess that's probably why these guys work for me. I think we're going to expend our blitz over here. So I'm going to post the blitzer up on this guy. I probably should have thrown the blitz with the blitzer, huh? Yeah. But we're gonna try to push this guy to here. Go ahead and follow up. Alright, so this is where we're headed, obviously. And I think should I move this guy over here to supplement my strength on this side? Or should I keep him in place so that it's harder for them to come through around? I don't think they're going to try to come through around. I think they're going to try to come through over here. So why don't I don't want to be adjacent to any dwarf players that I don't have to be, even the downed ones. I don't want to have to make the dodges out next turn, right? I think I am going to run him over here. Play a little bit of defense. So we've got those lines of tackle zones, right? The best thing for them to do on their turn is going to be to blitz this dude off, and then that'll open up this line. We'll see if they can figure that out. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that turn. We're only in one spot where they can throw a punch, and they're going to have to do some work to make it anything better than a 1 die. They might just have everybody kind of fall back and wait for me to approach. But remember, with every player on our team having 4 agility, everyone's a passer, everyone's a receiver. We can just drop passes like pretty good distances down the field. I actually went and looked up. I can't tab out of this without the camera flying to the side. Okay, here we go. I actually went and looked up. I made some notes. I did some math once upon a time. Okay, here comes the blitz. Let's pay attention to this for a second. Okay, so we found block. Oh, no armor break. I'll take that. So a 4 agility player throwing to a 4 agility player, assuming no skills but also no minuses from tackle zones on them and stuff, has like a 70% chance to complete a pass. Accurate catch, good. Accurate throw, good catch. So that's pretty good for us. And then as soon as we start picking up passing skills on the runner, it's going to get even better. We're going to be able to generate a lot of very flexible offense. So how do I want to do this? They've opened up this side a little bit. So I think we're going to do this. I don't necessarily need to throw a pass, and I kind of do want to pick up star player points on the runner. So this might just be a running play. So what's the best version of this running play? Like, we really would like to get rid of this guy, right? This dude denying our assist is making it kind of difficult. So we could throw a punch at this Longbeard, try to push him here. If we get that, we can move Grasping Despair around to, like, here. Provide an assist, take a swing with this guy. Like, we might be able to work this out and surf their blitzer. I'd like to have more than 1 die for this. We may not be able to get there. Actually, it should be the assassin who comes up here, right? Because he can't make it around far enough to really participate in this cage. He could be the back corner because we can move this guy up to front left, or front right rather. No, I'm gonna have the assassin be the one who shows up over here.
That's it. Get in their face.
I'm still debating having her try to jump up into a punch. She could also jump up into a dodge. Dodge is quite likely to work. And actually, given her position, maybe that's what we should do. We should just do that right now while we still have a team reroll. Oh, actually, she has dodge, so we wouldn't... Oh, but their tackle skill will prevent her from using dodge, so we would use a team reroll to reroll her move. Alright. Good stuff. So now we have some more punching power over here. Let's start trying to craft some version of this that is good. Give me a knockdown. Yes! Absolutely what I wanted. Get out of here. Okay, so this guy gets to go away. Yes! Alright. We managed to shorthand them. The audience can be savage. Groin strain. Remember, sending somebody off the field bypasses their armor. They have to make an injury roll. The crowd gets in there. So, when dealing with heavily armored foes, if you can catch them in a position like this, that's something you want to do. Now, I'm a little worried about the Troll Slayer, who also has Frenzy, just double move surfing our guys. But I don't know that there's a lot I can do about it. This Blitzer might just be a sacrifice. We could put... I mean, it's going to be hard for him to generate the angle. I think I'm going to move you off. Yeah, I'm going to move over to here. It will be tough. The Troll Slayer really needs to hit this guy from here, here, or here to be able to surf him easily. So they might just not be able to generate the angle they need. You know what? We should just do this. This is a thing that should happen. So this guy's got blitzers blocking for him. That's pretty good. These are just... They're both just linemen. Well, if I hit him with this guy, I get to push him this way on a push. Alright, I'll take that. Works for me. And then we can put another body over here. I'm not 100% sure where I want to put him, though. There's some danger in placing somebody directly in front of the ball carrier. Like, if you create this wall situation, and then they just run up and wall you in response, it can actually make it very hard for your ball carrier to move forward. But we could move Wilhelm von Bloodkirk over to a position where we have a little bit of an opening. I guess there's a danger, right, that he gets blitzed and pushed into this square while down, but this is what I'm going to do. We're going to adjust our cage a little bit, just kind of make it more of an arrowhead than a box. And we're not very punchable. Now again, all but 3 of our players have 8 armor value. So we're not that squishy. Not like, say, Wood Elves. But squishy enough that I'm worried. We saw games where the dice would go just a little bit not in our favor as Nurgle, and we'd end up having 3 players injured. So that kind of stuff is much more likely. Even with this, the most armored of the elf teams. Alright, so they're going to wall up in front of us. We're definitely going to make sure over the course of this turn that somebody gets downfield, because we could just fall back and make the pass. Alright, they're going to go for the hit. Are they going to just push him straight back? No, they're going to try to push him to the wall. That's probably... Ugh, that's a shame. Well, never mind. Him being off the field makes it not matter which square they push him to. But I was going to say, this is maybe even better for us than him going to here. So I think maybe we should be going for the pass setup. So we just have a lot of players who have 6 move. Right, we just free up one of these dudes. We could even dodge out, but I'd prefer to do it by throwing a punch, because, you know, we also get to punch people that way. This guy's a runner. Okay, so he doesn't have block. Trying to plan my blitz. We could blitz this guy to push him to here. My concern, like, we could just, like, throw the punch with this dude. And then run Shaved Head on purpose, who is definitely not just sensitive about male pattern baldness, to run up here. But my concern is that if I push the 6 movement guy back, he's going to have a much easier time keeping up with my 6 movement receiver. So hitting this dude with a blitz from this side to push him this way to a place where it'll be harder for him to get clear is definitely appealing. I'm going to do it, I think. Because we're now down a player, Because we're now KO'd. We have a KO. It's to our benefit to try to run this drive out quickly so that our KO has a chance to get up. Alright, good armor break. It's a relevant dude to armor break, actually. It's pretty good. And then I'm actually going to run him back over to here so he can provide an assist to this blitzer. And we're just going to push 2 guys downfield to serve as potential receivers. We'll make them chase us and mark us. So even if this does stymie, which it looks like it is doing, we have options. Also, dwarf players are just like much less mobile than we are, and we can really do a lot of like running back and forth and trying to shake them. Okay, so we have this open, but I think I'm going to move the ball carrier first. This is ambitious. But that Troll Slayer right there, I probably shouldn't try to do that. I guess I kind of want to see what happens with some of these blocks before I make that decision. Okay, that's a pretty good outcome. I think I don't follow. This dude is about to give into a little bit of his namesake. By the way, I have to say, I have never before, during a setup for a Blood Bowl team, been so frustrated by the character limit. It was really bumming me out. I had a lot of good ideas for names that were not able to come to fruition. You know what? I'm not going to follow him up. If he wants to chase the receivers, he can chase the receivers. Yeah, we're just going deep. And then I think the play here is we're going to run across the field. We're just going to back up. We're going to recage over here. And we'll find our pass. Seems like what they're going to make us do. Alright, so we're pretty good dodgers. Dodge on a 2+. I just need to relocate the cage. I could leave this dude here. I mean, he's going to get 2-die blocked if I do, though. Yeah, let's fall back. The odds of me surviving the dodge are a lot better than the odds of me surviving the 2-die block. Man, our blitzers are fast. Yeah, so it seems unlikely to me that they're going to be able to stop us from scoring. A dwarf team can be a real hassle, but right here at 1000 TV, they just don't have a lot of ways of stopping you from playing elf ball, if that is your thing. Dwarf teams can be very frustrating at low TV. Dwarf teams can be very frustrating for other punchy teams that are more reliant on strength and don't really have a lot of skill access, so like Chaos and Nurgle, for example. Because they're able to generate the strength through assists, right? They wall up together really well, and it's hard to get them off the field due to the combination of thick skull and high armor. And then they just punch you as hard as you punch them, except they all have block. It's very frustrating. Okay, they blew the blitz. That's real good for me. So what do I have down here? Just linemen? I would really prefer to get my star player points on runners and blitzers for right now. Maybe the play is we just run the ball over and hand it off to the blitzer. The odds of that working are quite high, and then he can commit pretty deep. These guys are mostly pretty slow. This dude is 6 move. He has to be dealt with. But he also doesn't have any skills to make him better at not falling down, so, you know, we can just deal with him. So why don't I hand off backwards? Hold on, is there anything else I want to do that doesn't involve die rolling? Because the handoff can fail. These dudes are under control. I'm going to commit somebody to a run up the other side of the field. Halfway, this is about distraction, but also, you know, could end up being relevant. Part of the danger of this kind of play is that you keep doing this stuff, and then eventually all of your dudes are in the wrong position, and something goes wrong, and nobody's around to recover the ball. But I'm going to rely on the fact that we're faster than they are to help us recover if something like that happens. So we could dodge through here. How are we going to deal with this dude?
Have you tried that Croxier?
That's a GFI. We could just run up to here. I mean, these two dudes are going to deal with this. Yeah, I'm gonna just make this. I'll make this play, and we'll see how things work out.
It's the safer action. Predictable.
Okay. The announcers are making fun of my play. Alright, I didn't want to run adjacent to the edge of the field just in case. You know, I don't want to get pushed against the edge and kept there pinned by a dwarf, which is a thing that very much can happen. So here's where we'll blitz. Try to just make it difficult for this dude to catch up. That's not... The camera moved. I clicked here. That's annoying. Well, stay put. Don't be adjacent to the dwarf. I guess it doesn't really matter. Dude is downed and cannot actually reach us to hit us. Now, we could still take a hit from the Troll Slayer if we don't put somebody in the way. So this seems like a good time to put somebody in the way. Also, our assassin is going to get flattened, and there's not a lot we can do about it, but we can throw a desperate stab out. Right? So, like, this is another situation where stab is good. That block roll is not going to work. But we can just try to put a knife in this dude's eye. It's not impossible that it could work. It's way more likely to hit him than the block is. And maybe we take one of their players off the field, right? Alright, making those sweet dodge rolls. I think we... Let me think here. We throw a 2-die block on this guy now, then we'll frenzy up. I'll push him to here. We'll take a negative assist, but we'll have 2 positive assists so we can keep hitting him.
This is going to be enough to come out on top.
Maybe I should have just pushed him so that I could try to profit off that second block, end her up here. I guess we can just put 2 guys on this. Yeah, let's just put 2 guys on this dude. Make it a little bit more difficult for them to generate good blocks over here. And you, I guess, can also just come downfield and be in the way of dwarves. And now that we have nothing else to do, let's stab this, okay. Left click to select the skill, right click to use it. A lot of skills are left click to select them and then left click to use them. Yeah, give it a go. Yeah, nothing bad happens if you fail the stab. It was a tough roll, but he's not doing anything else. I'm not going to try to dodge him out. I'm going to let them punch him, but... I guess the dodge out... I could have dodged out to a single tackle zone. You know what? I should have tried to dodge him out. I've been playing too many 3 agility teams. This dodge isn't that hard. And then the second dodge is actually very easy. It would have been a 3+ followed by a 2+. Alright. Blade stab a face. Tuck and roll, dude. Yeah, he's fine. So they're going to try to set up to do violence to us, and we are going to score so that they cannot do any violence to us. I am going to have my assassin blitz up and try to stab a dude, because there's no penalty for failing the stab. Ouch. Oh, okay, just a stun. Yeah, there's no penalty for failing the stab, so, like, why not, right? I would like to stab the Blitzer, I think. Give it to him. Okay. What a surprise. Oh, I did roll a 9! If I had gone after the Longbeard, I would have gotten him. It's that 9th point of armor. Oh, no, they both have 9 armor. That's right. Only Troll Slayers are actually the low armor players on the team. Alright, and then we're not rolling any other dice. I don't want a chance of failure. Alright, the first in a long chain of advancement. One thing that's great about elf teams is that they have a lot of room to go up in effectiveness. Some teams sort of cap out at a pretty mediocre TV. Ah, that's a shame. We didn't get our dude back. But elf teams usually can keep taking skills that keep really improving their effectiveness for quite a long time. So I think we're just going to go linemen on the line, because that's what they're for. It's right there in the name. The linemen are the ones that have good posture. Alright, good luck, fellas. Blitzer's out in the wings here, ready to run forward and do some damage. I'm really not too concerned about these guys trying to sneak by us. They have no hope of doing that. So let's just... oh yeah. Let's just put you guys kind of in... yeah, we can be one space further forward. Just general run forward and give me assists positions. There is every chance that we're going to be able to steal the ball and score on them. Absolutely possible. Our blitzers are very fast and good at their jobs. Hey, you know what? Let's just kick it dead center. Wow, that's a hell of a kick. Okay, they got an extra reroll on top of the extra reroll they got earlier. The good news is that actually didn't do anything, because they already had one reroll available for each turn for the rest of the half. So I guess the joke's on them. That's a pretty deep kick, though. Depending on what happens here, like 7 move blitzers, we might be able to put some pressure on this. Okay, that's good for us. They're not keeping this side strong. And also dwarves. You know, dwarves. Okay. They double fumbled the ball pickup. So we are going to hit one of these guys. Who wants to do it? I'm going to have the assassin come up and offer an assist. We'll have the lineman hit this guy from this side. Oh, actually, I guess that's... I can't push him here. Never mind, it's fine. He's down. I was going to say I can't push him here because the whole point of this was to make it so my blitzer didn't have to do any dodging. And we're just going to fill the backfield with blitzers. This guy's got kind of an inconvenient path. But if I just accept a dodge, I can really get in there. I'm going to take the dodge. We have a team reroll left. Alright. I guess I'm kind of like sacrificing these guys to the dwarf gods if I don't get some damage done, huh? Alright, let's try to get some damage done. So first, if we use somebody to break up the assists over here, or these ones, there's a way to get some decent punches out here. I hate to use a witch elf for this, given that she has 7 armor, but that's very dangerous, isn't it? Okay, what if we run you down to here? Take the GFI. Now, this guy has a 2-die block. We can start breaking up the dwarven formation here. There you go, that's the trick. They're not wearing armor on their faces. Seems like a tactical oversight, you ask me. What else do I want to do here? Let's hit this dude. I'm going to put the witch elf right here so that if this doesn't end in a knockdown, she's not adjacent to the... oh, that's right. Dodge. We could come around here and try to contain some dwarves, but maybe we're better off just adding another body down here. That guy's a runner. Yeah, you know what? I'll take this dodge and just try to get down here. We're definitely playing with fire a little bit by rolling all these dice. I'm not too concerned about keeping these guys under control because they only have 4 move. So let's have you fall out, actually. That'll give me the 2-die block I'm looking for. If I were the dwarf player, I would definitely be a little bit frustrated by how many POWs are appearing on these elf dice. We are really getting him. Oh, he thick-skulled. He thick-skulled the KO down to a stun. That's a shame. On the whole, though, pretty successful. We honestly might score again. Is Dark Elf the worst matchup for a dwarf team at like 1000 TV? Maybe. Because like I said, they're mainly good against other punchy teams, or teams that don't have 4 agility but are reliant on the dodge skill for their mobility. So like dwarves are particularly good against like goblin type players and stuff. Oh, this might hurt. A team that doesn't really need skills to do the thing and just is getting by on sheer agility is actually really tough for low-level dwarves. Okay, well they managed to put one guy back here to mess with us. And the guy who has the ball is a blitzer. So he is not he's not going to be trivially knocked down with a both down result. But there's a version of this that ends with me getting an extra punch. If I do this, then we run up, blitz this guy from this angle. We can push him to here, and then this blitzer can also take a shot at him. It involves me making this 2+ dodge, but we have our team reroll still. Well, let's see if we can get the ball free. It turns out we can. Come on, just bounce right into my blitzer's hands. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Do I just want to pick it up with this dude? That's a shame. This is the guy. This is unfortunate, the tackle zones being what they are. Can you make it to the end zone? You could if you didn't have to step sideways. Well, I mean, he still makes it to the end zone. I just got to make a GFI. I'm going to put this guy here. And we're just going to go for it. I would love to pick up a level here. And my turn 8 is before their turn 8, so even if I wait for my last turn, they're still going to get a turn to punch at us after the play ends. I'm just going to go for this. So you're going to see some of that nonsense. I know I haven't really thrown a pass yet, but this is also Elf Ball. Just be fast, ignore tackle zones, get the ball all the time. Give me my player back. Nope. Sometimes you can intimidate Nuffle. There's a little bit of stern. I don't think it's that he's scared of you. I think he gets startled easily. Alright, well, it's good before, it's good now. I only have 1 turn left, so I do not think I will be scoring again. Alright. The weather has changed to nice. That'll be fine. It's not a big deal. So they're going to try this again. Let's see if they try to pick the ball up before throwing all their punches again. Because I'd be very pleased with that. And remember, our turn in a second here is mostly about not getting murdered on their final turn of the half. So we're going to want to try to take a punch where we can, or throw a punch where we can throw a punch, and then move all of our guys away from them so they only get to throw their blitz. They're not really being very aggressive with us, though. Like, if all the players who end up down from this just stay down, they're not really going to get to throw very many punches. Okay, everybody survived. Is there a way to surf this dude with my Witch Elf? So if I ran up and hit him from here, get a push to here, then I'm here, I hit him and push him to here, we run somebody around to here, and then this guy can push him off the field. That's a tall order, certainly. It involves a dodge into 2 tackle zones. But we still have a team reroll. Oh, and it also involves like negating a bunch of assists, and to do that I have to leave players adjacent to their players. So probably that's not worth even thinking about. Where is... Can I get to one of their runners, maybe? One of their more vulnerable players? So this is a runner, that's a runner. The guys with the wings on the hats are blitzers. It would be okay to try to take down a blitzer too. Actually, a troll slayer is the one who's really likely to go down, only having 8 armor. I don't think we're going to get there, though. That's a long beard. It'd be a double GFI and a dodge to get the block on this dude. I don't think we're going to be able to hit one of their vulnerable players. All right, let's try to hurt this blitzer, maybe. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my 7 armor guys and flee. Turns out your services will not be needed. I'm going to use a couple of blitzers to throw the hit because the blitzers are by far the least likely players on our team to get injured. Alright, good stuff. Alright. That's a shame. And then, I guess... I suppose the best thing to do is just try to make it so it's kind of awkward for them to throw assists, although we're not going to be able to do that in any way, actually. Yeah, I guess we'll just withdraw the linemen. The 2 blitzers can just stand there and be tough. Tough dudes. I think even though they are receiving at the beginning of the second half, it is very unlikely that we will lose. I will say this. We're running a very similar tournament. Round robin within our 8-team group, followed by a 3-round single elimination tournament to determine the greatest team of all time. But this time I made it so only the top... I doubled the number of groups and then made it so only the top 2 teams in each group advance to give ourselves a little bit more of a challenge. So we actually do have to perform well in the tournament here. I think it should be pretty easy. Like I said, elf teams are, in general, good. Squishy, risky, dangerous, but good. And the AI seems particularly ill-suited to stopping high agility play. See, if I were them, I would have just re-rolled that blitz. Don't you feel like you've wasted a huge opportunity if you end the half with 3 re-rolls? Get up. Man, he has failed 3 consecutive wake-up rolls. Yeah, alright, we'll just keep setting up the same way. Some randomly... Oh, a pitch invasion. Angry fans have charged out on the pitch. Okay, when we say some randomly selected players, what it means is 2 of my players. Also, the ball ended up on my side of the field, which means they get to hand it to one of their players for free. They don't have to do the pickup. That is the worst possible outcome for us. That said... even if they score here, they're not going to score again, I don't think. It would be very, very unlikely. So we're probably good. The fact that we were able to pull that second point during the first half has made us almost entirely safe. I'm really hoping that this assassin will get to do some cool stuff other than get his face punched off by random fans diving onto the field. This is just a bad game for him to showcase his skills. Okay, this dude's putting himself in a place where a witch elf could do some serious work on him. We're gonna have to make some dodges, though. I mean, I feel like that's just gonna be our life. we're gonna have to make some dodges. Oh, come on. Fail one of those. Ah, you jerk. I mean, it doesn't really change very much. It's just annoying. Okay, so we need a dodge out. We'll put you right here so that you can provide an assist for both of the Wood Elf's attacks. Or the Witch Elf's attacks. We do only have 1 team reroll, so I'm a little nervous about how it's going to go here. I think this guy maybe just stays down. He's not going to be able to contribute meaningfully over here. These guys probably should do something. I'm going to have this guy go downfield speculatively. Speculative downfielding. We're going to have this guy run to here. We might be able to
Right next to a team.
use an attack on this Troll Slayer to move this guy in perfect safety. Potentially, you know, if we get a knockdown, we can just do the follow-up. And that's all the stuff I want to do that doesn't involve die rolls. I should have done all of that before moving the first guy. Alright, if we can get another... Yeah, if we can get another dodge off here, we can totally just take this guy off the field. And that should break up their drive pretty well.
The end zone is in sight.
That's interesting. I think I want to surf him. So I'm going to not take the knockdown. I want this guy out. That does end up with my frenzy player adjacent to the edge of the field. That's a danger. That's the thing that happens. I believe she's allowed to move. I think she has a GFI left. Oh, she has both of them. So we can move her to here, which is pretty safe. We can move her to here, which is less safe. I'm just going to move her to here. I don't want to roll the die twice. Okay, can we get another assist on this? Or... I'm a little bummed about this choice. I wasn't really thinking ahead enough. I should have not put this guy adjacent to the Troll Slayer, because what I actually want to do, obviously, is dodge out and go for the ball. We do have a 1-die block here. It's risky. I think I'm just going to go for the dodge. Making it pretty easy for them to punch my Wood Elf, I suppose. Or my Witch Elf. I'm going to keep doing that, apparently. I put her here thinking she can help with the punch. But now I don't even want to do the punch. I got to think more than one move ahead. Alright, let's accept that she's maybe going to get punched. I still think this is a better move than her being adjacent to the edge of the field. And I'm going to move adjacent to the ball, but not onto it.
Loose ball.
Then this guy's going to try to get onto it.
Player needs to secure it. Fast.
Do I just want to try to, like, go? 5+ pass with a 2+ catch. I have a lot of movement left, is all I'm thinking. Like, ending right here is maybe not totally ideal. Throwing the ball to him is just going to get him 2-die blitzed. He has block. Maybe that would be okay, but I'm not going to risk it. I think the ball is marginally safer, like, here. This guy has the move to get to where he needs to get to. We can't stop this guy from doing whatever he wants either, because I could stand this elf up, but... Well, you know what I could do is I could stand this elf up and put him here, maybe. Here's some protection.
Violence, Jim. It's the only answer.
There we go. So I can't stop them from getting the blitz, but I can stop them from getting a 2-die blitz.
They'll need to get rid of the ball now there's pressure on them.
And I'm not worried about dwarf pressure. As long as we still have our team reroll, I'm going to play very fast and loose with the dodging. As soon as we lose that reroll, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious, probably. But right now, it's kind of looking like we can maybe get a passing play off. It would be kind of nice to get the star player points on somebody who's not the guy who already has a level. Alright, here comes the 1-die blitz, followed by the 1-die blitz. I am not going to dump off.
Player forced possession away from the ball holder.
Okay, well, we ate one of their rerolls. He does get another swing. Ah, he got it. It's fine. It's fine. It's still much easier for us to recover the ball than it is for them. The way the KO dice are going for us, though, that might be pretty bad. So, for a... Oh, nice. Double skulls. For a 4 agility player, picking up the ball in 1 tackle zone is the same difficulty as picking up the ball in no tackle zones is for a 3 agility player. So, actually, this is not something to be too afraid of. But it would be better if we could get this guy away from it. I guess this guy should stand up. I should have run him closer to the potential intended receiver. Yeah, that was a mistake. Because that way, if I throw a pass to one of them, it will have a... Even if it misses, it will have a chance of landing in a place where one of them has it a little bit more easily. So I think I want to throw this punch with my blitzer. I don't want to use the Witch Elf because I don't want the Frenzy follow-up. Actually, maybe I do. Yeah, because we'll still have an assist on the Frenzy follow-up. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it with the Witch Elf. Hit those dodges. Okay, there we go. Ah, he thick-skulled again, man. Alright, so do we just do the toss? Like, maybe I do, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to go for it. Even if we fail the pass, this still ends up with the ball downfield. 4+ pass and a 2+ catch. Oh, wow. An interception. So the interception only happens on a 6 for a 2 agility player. He just hard rolled the 6. It's an agility roll, which means that obviously it's the same kind of roll as a catch roll. It's easier if you have more agility. And it has a -2 penalty because intercepts are difficult. And then another -1 penalty in this case because he was in a tackle zone when he did it. And he just rolled the 6. That's... I mean, it's not super unlikely, right? 1 in 6. But it's unlikely enough that I'm very annoyed. The good news is there's no way that they can prevent all of us from getting to him. So we'll just get the ball back. Alright. Trying to think, where do I want this guy to be? It would be best if the Witch Elf... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... It would be best if she could hit him from here, right? So that we could push him toward the Blitzer, but I don't think that's really feasible. We're just going to have to settle for pushing him back. Okay, so... I think this guy stays down. I think this guy gets up. We'll just fight. We'll just fight the Troll Slayer. If he wants to throw 1-die blocks, he can throw 1-die blocks. And I'm going to place you here. And I do want to free up the Witch Elf. We can free the Witch Elf up by doing some violence. That's probably the best way to do it. Excellent. I think I probably stay put. Okay, so now we don't even have to attempt the dodge, which is very likely to work, but better not to do it if you don't have to. And let's take a couple swings at this guy. That's pretty bad for us. Let's not pick a block result. Okay. So I guess we'll push him to here just because he's very slow. This is actually 2 turns of movement for him, so... Alright, we'll use hitting this guy as a way to get out of that guy's tackle zones. It's a little dangerous, but I'm not too afraid of the 1-die block when we have block, even when the opponent also has block. I'm going to bring back our lineman, but I think I'm going to leave this dude pretty deep. I guess not. There's not really a reason to do that. So let's bring the lineman home. Try to make this awkward for him. And then here's a question. Do I want to roll a GFI to get us on the ball carrier? Probably not, right? Dude has 2 agility. The only place that really makes sense to move, if I want to throw dice and make life dangerous, the only place that really makes sense to try to move is here. Because then there's no space forward that isn't in another tackle zone. But the odds of this guy trying to dodge out on 2 agility are pretty low, and even if he does, we'll catch him. So I'm going to come back, but I'm not going to roll any dice for it. Man, dwarf interception. Like I say, it's not that unlikely, it's just something that does not happen very often. Me trying to pass over a player was a bummer, but I don't know that it was a good idea to try to wait until I had an opening. Like, sometimes you just gotta go for it. Alright, so he's following up into a -2 die block. This is one of the dangers of Frenzy. Right, you really gotta pay attention to that second. Oh my god! Who was that? Who just kicked a dwarf's head off? Why, it was Dark Soulless, of course. What was I thinking? Who else could it have been? Good work, man. We're giving you a bonus. Okay, what's my plan here? Who wants the ball? I'd really love to give the ball to one of the blitzers, so we could have one of the linemen from over here blitz this guy, push him to here, and then Bob Bloodman can come up. We can try to score a touchdown with him. I would love it if I could get a level on multiple blitzers. Yeah, let's go for that. Do I want to follow up? I think I am going to not follow up. Move up to here. As always, just try to give the ball a lot of friendly places to land. This guy's plan is going to have to be to dodge out, obviously. Or maybe he just takes a punch. You know, he's a tough dude. Oh, actually, I really don't want you standing there. I was just trying to put him adjacent to the ball. You know, just in case. In case the thing happens. Oh, he flubbed it. Okay, that's not a bad place for the ball to end up. And we got a lot of time. I am confident we can get this 3rd point. Especially because the dwarves at this point seem to have given up on the ball part of the game, or maybe they were never playing the ball part of the game. And they're mostly focused on just trying to punch the hell out of any elf they can surround. That's a good punch. This guy is in a situation. He's going to have a bad moment. Okay, that's not a big deal. So we need to clear up some space. I think I'm gonna throw some good punches here. Yeah, that'll do. So I'll knock this guy to here, push my player to there. Oh wow, another injury. Stuff is going real sideways for these dwarves. So I would still like the touchdown to go to this guy. We have our blitz available. I guess the smart thing to do would be to just blitz up. Let's make sure that there's an assist on that. An additional assist, rather. Let's just try to push this guy off of our prospective ball carrier. Yeah, you're fine there. Step up here to make life difficult, and then I'm going to pull another player adjacent to the ball, and the plan is going to be move here and then move up like that. Let's see if we can actually pick up the ball this time. Okay, well I think that's a point because I don't know that any of them. Okay, that guy's a long beard. He has just enough speed to catch us if he, with his 2 agility, dodges into tackle zones repeatedly. That guy's a runner. Well, let's put a corner out. He can still hit me this way. Right, he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 GFI into the single die block. So if I stand right here, there's no way for him to even get a single die block now. He can still get there, but it's going to be it's going to be a heck of a play. He's going to have to make some dodges into a negative 2 die block to get what he needs.
Players arrive to assist their teammate.
Okay, yeah, we got this. We got this 3rd point. Now this time I'm going to wait until my final turn to score if things don't go south, because we have a pretty advantageous position right now, and I do not predict that I will be able to score again. Not a lot of time left on the clock.
The opponent's tackle zone. Should be good.
Now this next block is only going to be a 1 die. Yeah, it's a dangerous thing to do. The AI is not thinking out their frenzy plays very well. So this guy's a long beard. Yeah, so we just outrun him. He can make it to the space adjacent to us, but we can stop that. How do I want to do this? We pretty much just have to put this elf anywhere between these two, right? Because he has to take the most direct route. This is totally fine. Okay, problem solved. Now, the other problem. The one where there is not enough punching happening.
Come on, guys. Together.
Okay, so we have an okay second punch if we need it, but
Hasn't she?
I'm glad I didn't have to use it. So let's try to untangle this situation a little bit. I want to do this so that after this guy gets hit, he's not necessarily adjacent to us.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out?
Okay, but with a knockdown, I am going to follow up. If it had just been a push, I wouldn't have. And now we have some assist canceling. We can get a real block on one of these guys. Doesn't really matter who, they're all the same guy. I guess technically it's better to take the additional block against one of the upper ones. Just because that's closer to the play. It's not going to matter one way or the other, though. Okay. This is a little dangerous back here still. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. And our positionals are not super expensive. They're expensive-ish, but it's not like hiring new Minotaurs or anything, right? Like, they cost 80, 90. Well, that's something. So what I was about to say is, losing a good player on this team isn't as bad as losing, like, a great player on Nurgle or something. We will definitely have to hope for a good winnings roll. I was hoping to buy an apothecary after the first game. We might still. I might just accept playing the next game with a journeyman so that we can get an apothecary and protect our good players. Okay, so that's under control. We'll score next turn. This turn we... What do we do? I'm going to do this. Just push them off, make it so the only block they get is the blitz. And speaking of blitzing, there's a GFI in this. This is maybe a little unnecessarily dangerous. Yep, failed the GFI. I was hoping that he could do this, push this guy off, getting the witched elf free to move to here so that we could throw a 2-die block against this guy. And then everybody would be free, and also we'd have the maximum chance of knocking down some dwarves for some star player points. Well, they really hate this guy. Alright, well, what are we, 2 deaths, 1 on each side? That's not so bad, really. Just a normal game of Blood Bowl. So yeah, as far as elf teams go, obviously this team is pretty violence heavy. Some of the other elf teams prefer to avoid fighting entirely. I think it's a good idea to minimize your enemy contact, as wood elves, for example. We're going to have some violent games. You know, I can't... What's the point of playing any other way, really? Alright, who gets our MVP? That is a terrible... Can we please reroll that? A 3. 3 is bad. 3 is bad. A guy who didn't have any star player points got the MVP award. That's a shame. So we don't get another level out of that. Well... An auspicious beginning. Next up, we're against another elf team. This is very good for us. So real quick, let's see what they're packing. They do have a catcher with guard. That's interesting. He rolled doubles and he took guard. I mean, it's not crazy, I guess. So they have 2 blitzers. Remember, their blitzers have sidestep. They have their catchers and their throwers. They're actually... the catchers are faster than anybody on our team, so we do have to be a little worried about that. And they have nerves of steel, which means they catch just fine in our tackle zones. So it might be difficult to prevent them from playing the game they're going to want to play. They also have a lot of team rerolls. Let's go in and grab our level up. So yeah, at 60k, actually, we don't even have the option of hiring a player to fill the slot. Our cheapest player is 70. So we're going to play a match or 2 with a journeyman while we save up for other stuff. Okay, normals. So, elves have general and agility skills on normals. I mean, I think I'm going to take dodge. Block and dodge is a pretty powerful combination. And as much as I like to take fun skills, like the effectiveness of a dude with block and dodge is very difficult to argue with. It's not flashy, but this guy is going to be such a pain to deal with. And then we are going to pick up an apothecary right now. So I think I talked about this before, but the reason I generally don't buy an apothecary before the first game is, first of all, it's fairly unlikely that you will lose a player during the first game who has any development on them. You could have somebody level up early in the game and then have them die, and that sure would be a bummer. But the odds are, you're not going to lose anything hugely important during Game 1. And you really should do everything in your power to maximize your team rerolls during team construction. I know, given this situation, that sounds a little silly, with me having only taken 1. But, again, this is not the optimal build for this team. So now that we have people where there's a little bit of something to lose, we'll go ahead and pick up our apothecary. And hopefully we'll win enough from this next game to be able to hire a new guy, you know, a roll of 5 or 6 on the winnings die. I think will get us somebody, pair of hands. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are still enjoying watching Blood Bowl, and I hope you are intrigued by this new team. I certainly think they're fun to play. Come back next time. We're going to put that knife to good use, and we'll see you then.